So hi there, welcome to the Garden Laboratory, week 10 update, and that's May 24th to May 30th. So this week the plan was to continue planting out from the glass house and transplant the tomatoes, so I've loads of tomatoes, put up the chicken fence and do the swarm checks on the bees. So I suppose one of the key features this week was that we had a heat wave, so we had record temperatures for the month of May. So we actually had a record-breaking temperature of 30.5 degrees centigrade, which is the warmest May day ever recorded in Ireland. And the previous record was 28.4 degrees centigrade, and that was from the 1970s. So really, really hot this week. And when it's so hot, you don't really feel like doing too much in the garden, especially during the daytime, because we're not used to this kind of heat here in Ireland. So yeah, really hot. So that was one of the key features. But again, then the plants need to be watered, and also right now the soil is really dry, so it'd be great to get some rain. And I suppose I mentioned last week about thinking on two wheels, and my new motorbike, well, not new motorbike, my new old motorbike, had some great rides, especially when the sun was out and it was really hot. And I had a beautiful ride last Sunday up to the Sleeve Bloom Mountains. And if you want to check that out on Thinking on Two Wheels, you'll find it there. So really fantastic weather for motorbiking. So the hens themselves are doing fantastic. We had a first day with 4 eggs. So we've been getting maybe 2-3 eggs a day, but we suddenly got 4, and that's brilliant. 4 hens, 4 eggs, that's brilliant. And I did put up the netting fence. I actually did it today, and I really procrastinated on it because I thought, oh, this is going to be so difficult, so complicated. I hate fencing. But when I actually rolled it out, it was so simple to put up. So, and I had it done like in 20 minutes. So if you're thinking about getting hens, get one of these fences and get one that you can electrify later. You know, you can get an energizer and it becomes an electric fence. So this one has little metal strands running through it. So I think, you know, haven't got it electrified right now, but it gives me the opportunity in the future to do that. So I think it's good to invest in a good quality fence. So the potatoes in the soil are doing really well, but the ones in the experimental bed with the grass clippings are still very poor looking. So, and they're kind of hit and miss. Some have come up, some are starting very late, some are so spindly looking, so not really successful. So again, this is all about learning, and some great successes like the raised beds, and this is an example of something maybe that's not doing so well. Yeah, the raised beds are really brilliant, and we've been eating endless salads. It's amazing because I think it was last week I put in a picture of the first salad, and now we have so much salad we don't know what to do with it. It's just like we're clipping the leaves, and you come back and it's like, oh, there's more and more salad, there's endless salad. Brilliant! But it's amazing how you can go from very little to just abundance within a week. So it's a lesson for anybody out there thinking of starting a garden. You know, you might be surprised at how quickly you can go from just planting those seeds to suddenly having endless quantities of something like a salad. Yeah, I did the swarm checks, really essential at this time of the year, because definitely the bees are going to swarm if you don't do your checks, or if you don't, well, what you're trying to do is not, you don't want them to get to the point where they're going to start swarming. You want to prevent that happening. And the way to prevent it is give them plenty of space, give them plenty of work to do, like the queen, plenty of space to lay eggs, to draw out wax, the bees to draw out wax. So this time I went into that really, really brilliant, strong colony, and I took 2 combs of brood with bees and I gave it to the weaker colony. So I donated. So that's a way of kind of improving the weaker one and reducing the strength of the strong one. Because if you don't reduce the strength of the strong one, you could end up with them wanting to swarm, which I don't want to deal with. So I want them to stay together as a strong colony. That's how I'm going to get more honey from it, because I did harvest already 20 kilos. So but the season is still coming, so the main season. So I'm still expecting a lot more honey from that colony, but I don't want them to swarm. So these swarm checks are really important at this time of the year. It's kind of It's kind of an intense period, I suppose, from April to June, and then from July onwards, I don't do much after I harvest the honey. So it's just a period of weekly checks now, and later. This is the way I do it. I don't really check after that. Okay, the kales didn't do very well. Unfortunately, it's been too dry. The soil was too hard, and they went from being really small plants and starting to flower. So I'm going to root them up and try again. But we're still eating some kales, but it's not as good as it should be. The tomatoes in the polytunnel are starting to fruit, which is absolutely brilliant, especially the small cherry tomatoes. So we're looking forward to eating those pretty soon, maybe in another 2-3 weeks. I don't know, I'm not sure, 2 weeks maybe. One of the things we notice as well is a rabbit is coming into the vegetable patch and is eating the kales. Again, it just comes and eats everything down to the growing point, everything. You just end up with a bare stem. So I have to do something to try and deter the rabbit. Not sure what to do, but I'm going to try and maybe block that hole or do something. Quick updates then. I suppose just at this time of the year, everything is just full growth. So that means the weeds, the plants, everything just grows like crazy. We have all this long day, it's bright. When I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, it's already bright. In the evening, it's light until maybe 10 p.m. or something. So there's this massive growing period. And once you have moisture, once you have sun, you're going to have huge growth. And that's what we're seeing now. So we're in a kind of peak growth period. And the kind of colder mornings, they've gone because you have this really short night. So it's kind of nice, pleasant temperatures, warmer temperatures, and everything grows really great, crazy, including the grass and including the hedges. So again, there's huge work there that I need to do on hedge trimming, etc. Just reflecting then, we could do with some more rain. And one of my biggest successes or the biggest learning points so far is the raised beds, how easy and cheap they were to make, and just how easy they are to manage because there's no weeds, you don't have to do any digging. It's just come and harvest your lettuce or your peas or whatever. Really brilliant. So I think anybody out there thinking of starting gardening, this is my biggest lesson so far, just to make some raised beds. You can do it in town, in a small garden, just, very cheaply. If you want to check back, you'll see how I made the raised beds. So really cheap. Great. So this coming week then, ongoing swarm checks. I still need to plant out stuff from the glasshouse. I have so much stuff there that still needs to go out. Generally weeding, trimming, everything's growing like crazy. It needs to be chopped down. But overall, I think a great week, and really happy also about the hens and that netting, just to corral those hens and stop them running around the garden and kind of pooing everywhere or digging up or getting into your vegetable patch. They can be a nuisance as well, but they're great. I love having them around. I love going out feeding them. I love going out checking the eggs. Gets me out of the house early in the morning, see how they are. Brilliant. So again, if you're thinking about getting hens, it's quite easy and you will really love to have them around. So again, check back to the couple of videos. Each week you can see where I got them, how I started, how I made the chicken tractor, and now how I fenced this week. All very easily and doable. So great. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found something interesting and useful in it. And I think the series of videos and looking back, I think it's starting to build up a kind of a storyline from right, in the beginning when it was really cold, and now we're coming into the summer period and everything's growing like crazy. So it's kind of that story right from March right now up to where we are nearly the beginning of June. So I hope you're enjoying. I hope you found it useful. And please like, please subscribe, please comment. I'd love to know even where you're watching from and what you found interesting or what you found useful. And do check back again next week for another update from the garden laboratory. Okay, see you then next week. Thank you.